Welcome to the On the Whistle podcast. We are back again with another excellent episode of the podcast. My name is Alasdair Howorth. Today I am stepping in as the host of the podcast while Zain Nabi is currently, I believe, on a flight back to South Africa. We've got a big one for you guys today. We've got an exciting guest here today. But first of all, I want to talk about the guy who's not our guest, but our fellow panelist, Francis Nkwain. Francis, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you, Alice. A real pleasure to be with you.
I'm always so jealous when I see you dialing in, Francis, because I just know you're there warm, you're in Cameroon, you're having a good time, and I look out the window and it's already dark and raining and snowing here in the UK, so I'm always jealous.
You know, we're tropical beings. As good Africans, we like to seek out the sunshine, especially in the winter months. So I won't be seeing you anytime soon.
Hopefully not. But today, joining us for a brilliant interview, we've got a man, a legend of African football. He's been there. He's done everything. He's won every CAF competition there is, Champions League, Cup Winners' Cup, Super Cup, AFCON. He's been to multiple World Cups. He's also represented some of the smaller teams in this world like Bolton and Birmingham City and Southampton. And he's now making a brilliant career as a coach. And he's one of the few coaches that have been on multiple continents. And today he's graced us with his presence. Radhi Jaïdi, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you for the invitation. I'm doing right. Happy New Year to you guys. It's a pleasure to be around you, Alasdair and Francis. I'm doing well. I'm keeping myself going, as most of the people knows me, and look after myself and my family and my objectives as a person, as a coach, as a former player, all that stuff.
Radhi, most of us know you as kind of an imposing centre back who plied his trade in the Premier League. You know, terrifying defenders. I think one of my favorite memories is of, I think it was a Seb Larsson free kick for Birmingham when you were blocking the keeper's vision. You weren't even looking at the ball. You were just there standing in the way. But, you know, that was quite a while ago now, kind of almost a decade. What have you been up to since? What are you doing right now? Tell us, where are you calling from?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Since that free kick, it was a long journey, to be fair. I think I finished my 3-year contract, in Birmingham City, and then I moved to Southampton. Southampton, that time, it was a new owners, new project, and new vision, and I was lucky to be amongst the people who joined Southampton that time and then helped with the project. I was experienced player at that time, so I think I was 33, 34 years old, and I was one of the experienced players. So I helped the team on a back-to-back promotion, and then help the club, get back to the Premier League and where it belongs. Because funny enough, one of the reasons that helped me to go to Southampton, which my first game ever in the Premier League was against Southampton back in 2004, and I played against Southampton in the Premier League, and then in 2009 I was like, okay, what's happened to this club? And then apparently the club with the previous owners, they had problems with the administration and some point deducted, and then new owners came on board, Marcus Lieber, and then they took it from there. Adam Pardew that time was the coach, the manager, and then he called me and then asked for my service as a former Bolton Wanderers and Premier League player, to come and help some of the youngest players as well, and build the team to progress in the leagues. And since that time I spent obviously 3 years playing, and then I retired in 2012, and I took an assistant coach in the academy. Southampton Academy is probably one of the best at that time, not just in England, in Europe, who produced some players like Gareth Bale and Theo Walcott and co. And it was the start of my coaching career. started to learn as an apprenticeship, and then I wanted obviously to learn the basics of coaching. As an experienced and then international player, I thought I know football, but basically coaching is totally different aspect, and I started to learn the basics and started to connect with a lot of different department, multidisciplinary department in the academy, and that helped me, to build my coaching knowledge and finish off my qualification, which is the most important thing as well. 2019, I entered the UEFA Pro, and then I spent obviously 18 months, learning from the FA setup and going through the assessments and all that stuff. It was a great, course. I enjoyed it with the rest of the candidates. I remember Colo3 was that course, and we had a good time as candidates. And then 2021, I got the certificate. But then before that, I had a little experience in USA, Hartford Athletic. There was a sort of a partnership between Southampton and Hartford Athletic. So as soon as I heard about the opportunity, I took it. To be fair, because I was desperate and sort of saying a little bit frustrated not to be first team coach, because that was my aim and my challenge, my ambition. So I took the opportunity with really open arms, and I enjoyed all the challenges. But up in USA, helped the team obviously to achieve the playoff spot, first time in their history.
Congratulations.
And then come back to Europe. Obviously, my aim is to stay in Europe, even though Hartford Athletic, offered me 2 years and a good opportunity to stay there, but I felt like very far from my family, especially, and Europe, where the football is high level, and where my aim as well to be in the future. I couldn't really find the best opportunity in UK because of multi reasons. One of them is the competition, and it's a competitive world, as everyone knows, and clubs are very meticulous in choosing the right coaches. So I started to open doors, for different countries, and Belgium and Cercle Bruges came on board. I took the assistant role as the first team. My feeling is under great, but I enjoyed the experience because I worked with such a great staff, and the club, they make me feel as a family. I like the project, which is based on developing and winning games, especially the team is a young team, and as average age of 23, which is aligned to my way of seeing things and my philosophy of football and of the club. But then I had a call from Espérance of Tunisia, which is my former team in North Africa and Tunisia. Ambitious as I am, and I'm willing to take risks. I took the opportunity. I took the opportunity to go and hopefully try to help my old team as to progress and develop the right base, especially modern structure, and help the young quality players that we have in Tunisia in order to understand the meaning of being professional. And hopefully I was willing to win some trophies. But then, obviously, same as many big clubs, trophies and winning is the most important thing. So they didn't really show winning to wait and give me a little bit of time, to build that base. And then obviously my experience come to an end in May 2022 in Espérance, and then I make my way back, to Cercle Rouge, Belgium, and I find back, my the Cercle Rouge family, and working with some of the great young talents, and try, to build again, the experience and the connections, around Europe. That's briefly, what happened since that time. Obviously, we're speaking about 2006, but then previously I was in Bolton Wanderers, as everyone knows. 2004, 2006, it was amazing period in Bolton, where I imposed myself as the first ever Tunisian player, to be in the Premier League, and scoring a couple of amazing goals against big teams, and enjoying my Premier League experience.
Now, if I may interject with your permission, we've been doing this for quite some time, and I have to say, and I think you'll agree with me, Alasdair, this is the first time ever that one question was asked, and so much was shared with such eloquence and detail. And it's a truly remarkable story, because these are things that I think very few people really appreciate. Some of the nuances or the way people arrive at places. And we started off with a corner kick, which you defended a corner kick that caught the attention of a young Alasdair. And we ended up in 2023 with you at Bruges and everything in between, delivered with such poise and eloquence. And this is what strikes me about you the first time I met you. Your ability to come across as somebody who knows what he wants. Do you think this element about yourself was always there, or you developed it over time? Because till today, you remain the only player I know of who moved directly from the continent of Africa on a free transfer into the Premier League. It struck me at the time when it happened. Ever since, it is always fascinating about how few players are able to move from all space directly into the top leagues in Europe, and whether it stands to the quality of the character of the individual or the opportunity, or if it's a mixture of the two.
Yes, Francis, thank you very much, obviously, for the nice words. But definitely, to answer your questions, it's a bit of both, and it's a mixture of other different values that I built, throughout the years. But then I think psychologically, I built a great resilience since the passed away of my dad back in 1988, or where we had a family shock, because my dad was the main thing at home, with my mom and my brother who's ill, epileptic. That was difficult. I was 12 years old, and the first word I've been told is, "You're the man of the house." And that, young as I was like, okay, I'm still want to play in the streets. I still want to enjoy myself, with my friends. And then suddenly I was like, okay, I have to take everything seriously. Start from my education as the first, obviously, get away, to ensure a good future. But then discovered after 1 year, when we went back to the south of Tunisia, I was recruited for the local team. It's called Stade Gabzien, and I took it seriously, and compared to my teammate that time, I was not the best, but because I took everything seriously, because of my mindset was telling me, okay, anything you want to spend time on, it has to be leading to something. And then little by little, as you know, every time you put a challenge and you achieve it, you go, okay, what is next? Okay, I was captain in my team, and then next, okay, I want to be international. Okay, I was like on the 15, on the 16 international. Then next, what is it? I got a call from the Parma Academy in Italy that time, but then I was recruited for Espérance of Tunisia. And then my career real professional career started in Espérance when I was 17, 18 years old. And that's where I multiplied my effort and my hard work.
What was that?
And especially
like for you as a young man? Because at 17, you're shouldering the responsibility almost for family. You're developing a single-mindedness towards your ability to apply yourself to the things that you believe will lead maybe to a better tomorrow. But what was it like for you, a 17-year-old will be away from home? And how do you compare that with those young talents that you now are coaching? Do you have an understanding maybe from those that are away from home, those who maybe aren't as mentally strong, the ones that maybe need an arm around them? Were you one of those?
Right.
Or
Yeah, definitely. I think there is a mixture of feeling that as a coach now, I really consider, everything about the individuals, because I went through a lot of experiences. I was lucky to have my mom and my brother, with me all the time, because when I moved to Espérance, I moved with my mom and my brother. But then I still remember the feelings and the challenges that I faced, but also the characteristic that I need to build to face these challenges. So it was a lot of fear, a lot of out of control challenges, non-controllable, but also you're out of your comfort zone. That's definitely for sure. So you go. I remember Espérance is always a big club who has big players that time. We have 90% international players who minimum 25 years old up to 33, 35 years old experience playing. So I was 17 years old coming, thinking that I'm gonna pick my starting 11 place, and then the first thing I've been told, okay, go stay away because you're not gonna get this easy. So I spent 5 years. These 5 years they were the most challenging 5 years in my career because you almost feel yourself in between no support, no care, but also players go to the coach and tell him if he plays, I'm not gonna play because he's still young and he do mistakes and I'm not able to deal with. So it's basically harsh, very difficult environment. You have to put yourself in. You have to succeed definitely because that was my choice. And then again, so with that, I think that's the time where I felt, okay, I need to make sure that I succeed in this environment. So I started to work on myself. One thing is to accept psychologically, you have to accept the challenge, but also what you need to do to adapt yourself to this challenge. And then I started to work hard. So people work in the morning, I work morning and afternoons. People come at 10 o'clock, I come at 8 o'clock, and then I do my gym and I do some basketball because we have a basketball team. So I go maybe to train with the basketball team and then go as a warm-up. I used to as a warm-up, go straight to the training session, train. And then I try to be the best in training session. So I always try to be up front if it's running. If it's practicing, then I do extras. So and then I created the autonomy. I created, the consistency of hard work. till the hard work becomes a fun for me. And that's why I use, now enjoy the hard work for the young kids, but also embrace the challenge. So the first step is to accept the challenge. You don't think that you're not playing means, you're not going to play all your life. No. But then when the opportunity comes, you're ready 100% for it. And that what happened to me in 1999 when I had the opportunity in the semi-final, which was hard and difficult game. We play Espérance playing in Morocco, semi-final against, I think we did Casablanca, and there was a final game, and we need to, African Champions League. And then I was on the bench, and then one of the, obviously we conceded the goal the first couple of minutes, and then if we conceded another goal, then we eliminated. So I came in, and then boom, I just kept the clean sheets as I came in. And then from there, everyone had the confidence of me, and then include the president who opposed me for the final. And I played the final, and I scored a goal in the final. And then my career took a different, pick from there. And then since that time till I retire, no one took me off my position. So I was more than ready for my opportunity. That's what I wanted to say. But the work and the hard work that I put, it was like obsessive hard work. It was like anything needs, for me to improve, I've done it, and I was committed and focused on myself. And I still have this characteristic.
Sorry, am I too zero therefore that maybe now you don't have, or you've encouraged that kind of attitude from the players that you coach, and ability to be autonomous, to have the individual drive within yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I use this, now, to influence and try, to engage players. Obviously, it's different word now, different generations. Generation was. Say again.
Do you find this new generation softer?
It's not being soft or resilient or hard. I think it's more about what influence these generation are influenced with, and I think it's difficult. It's difficult when you're influenced with a fake word. And I think the social media and the internet, YouTubes and all these platforms give them the wrong message. When you see only the final result of any successful person, and this person, commercially come out and say, oh yeah, I do this because he get money of that, product, just you want to sell that product. So basically he's not saying the truth. The truth is basically for him to attain that level, he worked hard. He maybe sacrificed some stuff like, his own whatever family time or his own, friend or party or whatever time to get that. But also he may be being patient and waiting for time, to get to that result. But this generation, they don't see that. And when they face that, they just give up because they think, oh, this is wrong. This must be wrong. This is not my mistake. It's the mistake of the people around. Maybe the coach, because it's not picking them to play. It's his mistake because I'm ready. Yeah, you're ready because he's wearing, nice pinky boots, and then maybe has swag and nice haircut, and he look good, and he has an agent, and he has, people, he has a nice social media, followers. But he's not coming to training session ready to put a shift, do double, work hard, spend, half an hour or more, practicing a free kick or corner or set or technical skills, to improve himself. That's reality. And I think the clever ones now, and that's what I think. I think now this generation, only the clever ones, the ones who think simply, they're the ones who make it, or the ones who are, you know, flexible or positive mindset. They're the one who make it, because if you fixed mindset and if you don't need to improve because you have certain skills or you have a certain ability, to score goals or to defend, then you're not gonna make it for longer.
That's very well put. I've never thought about it.
It's not enough for me. It's the mindset. For me, it's the mindset. That's the key of this generation now.
So, for example, like you started off dealing with this next generation, for example, at Southampton. And Southampton is famed for the Southampton way. Like you said, it goes beyond the British shores. We've been working in football for the best part of 20 years.
Yeah.
And the Southampton way here, through the years, has produced so many. One of whom was Gareth Bale, who's just retired from international football. They've been doing this for a long time. What did you find about what it is that they do, how they made me train their staff or the coaching team, and when you compare it to maybe what you knew at Espérance, for example, before, or maybe even at a Bolton. I know you also spent some time at Birmingham, if my memory is right. Through your journeys, you've seen different styles of coaching, different cultures. What do you think is interesting at Southampton that makes the Southampton way stand out the way it does? A friend of mine once mentioned the fact that they made sure that their players are in tune with the academic challenge as well. So they insist on you staying in school, and so that way the intelligence on field is also the ability to make the brain tick. I really don't know because I don't know this experience. Maybe you can share with us.
Yeah. I think, when I went to Southampton, then that time I discovered, the coaching work, because when even Bolton and Birmingham, I was a first team player. I was more focused on myself and obviously the competition. It was difficult to connect with the academy, but I had the opportunity to play some reserve teams sometimes, get some young players. It was a bit of I think it's going back to me. The connection was a bit fade, in different clubs with the academy, because I was, as I said, the first team player, focused just on my competition and my performance and all that stuff. But then when I went to Southampton, even in terms of age, I was matured enough to ask questions, the why and how and what and all that stuff. And then again, what the first thing who come to your eye and your mind in Southampton is that everything is linked to each other. So it's like a family environment. People with faces and names, and they around you, and they are there to support you and care about you, not just on the pitch, it's outside as well. And this is what makes difference in Southampton. Other thing, we Southampton, because of the obviously the financial, we didn't have the best player in the country, but we came on with a philosophy that we bring players with potential to be the best, and players with areas to improve and gaps to fill in. But we put more money in the staff and the expertise. So we have a lot of expertise and a lot of departments. And I think one of the people who had a great impact on the academy, and especially the structure of the academy, is Les Reed. Les Reed has a huge experience with the FA. Previously, he was in administration, and he was the director at some point, but also he coached, and he knows the meaning of developing. With him came Martin Hunter, who's again one of the, I think, best coach developer. And then they both came and they put the structure in the academy, and that helps as well a lot to build a great structure that link all age groups to the first team, and then you can see the two lines going from top to bottom, from bottom to top, from first team to on the 5, on the 4. And at the same time, we build the world-class, training ground, an academy as well that helps obviously the structure. The infrastructure helped as well to emphasize these points. And then from there, players started obviously to believe that they have a chance of the best. That's the best thing, ever. I learned from Southampton, which is creating the path, for these young players, and then they see players going from the academy up to the first team and then play in the Premier League. And the big example is James Ward-Prowse. But then, our challenge Southampton was how we can keep, our players playing in the first team, not lose them like Gareth Bale or Theo Walcott, and then maybe Alex Chamberlain, and after that, and some other players. So our challenge is try to keep, these players to play for the first team, and then maybe get to the highest as possible in the table. But then inside, again, we focused on, experts, multidisciplinary team, fitness, psychology, and especially we had a great, education department, which is huge because, we don't accept players not fulfilling, their expectation, in education. So players don't do their school right, they don't train right. That we don't give them the opportunity to train. So we give more importance, to the to education anyway. But then again, I think the best thing in Southampton was the caring. So the players, we look after them just inside out. We don't let the players down. Players, if they're not good in football, or they get injured or long-term injury or maybe a career injury, then we
something else.
We give them a different pathway, different experience. And then I think the best example is to see now, for example, Nkwain, who's retired because of the injuries, and then he's now coaching in the academy. And then similar as Nkwain, there is 2 or 3 examples who back to the academy now, and they're working for Southampton. And this was the culture. And then again, that what make me stay 10 years in the club. Even though I thought I stayed more than I expect, but I didn't feel the 10 years because I was feeling like home.
It's family.
Exactly. So it becomes like a normal for me to be in Southampton, and a normal for me, to help this club, because the club, they give me every day, and I need to give back to this club, and then try, to keep this club, in the highest. And then again, not just me, everyone feeling that. It changed a little bit when the ownership changed. But then I think the people who's been there for a long time, they have the same mentality and they have the same approach.
It's quite interesting. So did you find like a culture shock just switch over to the US, or given they have a partnership with the community? Because I believe they were trying to learn about this Southampton way. I believe was part of the deal. A continuation of sorts of what Southampton is. But I know sports in America is very different. How did you find that?
Yeah, definitely. The cultural shock is there anyway, because spending 10 years in probably in a world-class academy and football club, with a lot of facilities, weather structure, infrastructure, a lot of support. You kind of you protected, and you're in like a little bubble, with a lot of excellence around it. Yeah, exactly. It's like a VIP bubble, And then suddenly you find yourself, in an environment where, like you said, they're still learning about football, they're still learning about soccer, and they have different views as well, because American people, at least, the football industry, they want to create different style and different approach to football than Europe, because they're American. They have the baseball, the basketball, and they have different sport, which is probably worldwide, sports, and their business. So they want to see different way, different approach. But also, I'm out of my home, so I'm trying to find, different, I'm trying to find my direction. I'm trying to find my way to be head coach and my style. But then, I kept my task simple, which is try to emphasize and consolidate my football philosophy as a football coach, because I'm still trying some stuff, but also, try, to help as maximum as possible with what I've learned and what I know about football in the USL environment. I think that what make it easier for me is the club still finding their direction as well. So they based, their direction on some of my views and some of my philosophy, starting from principles of play on the pitch, and then and style of play also, but also outside is a leadership and management, perspective. Not necessarily they took everything, but because they have a different view, they have different, approach. But again, I help it to build the base, which has helped the club, the year after, to start from halfway, not from the bottom. And
So what is the change?
Which one, football way or outside? Because yeah, but
Both.
I don't know if you have time. If you have time,
We got time,
yeah,
because there's two minus right
but
now.
then-
We got a lot of.
yeah, definitely. I look, my football philosophy is based on creating or building a team who work with a lot of energy, a lot of intensity, and hard work, which is not surprise. Um, I'm trying not to let the opposition, keep possession of the ball, so I press high at times to get the ball back and try, to score goals before they organize and before they get, to the shape. But also, I'm a coach who wanted my team to keep position at times, so manage the moment when we looking for the right, spaces and the right, um, um, out of balance, to exploit. My players need to be leaders, players who know what to do, but also understand the moment, like I said, so they can manage it. And this is reflected in my training session. My training session are all challenging. Take the players out of their comfort zone, challenge them with a lot of rules and a lot of sessions that work on the principles, which is press, counter press, block compact defensively, and then playing out from the back, switch a play, and then shots on target or shots on target to score goals. So these are the main principles. Of course, through the years I changed a little bit, because I feel, sometimes if you try to play out against a good pressing team, of course, you're putting yourself in a danger. So for me, sometimes, playing out from the back, it's just, going above the first and the second line, and then try, to get the first and the second ball and play from there. So create an overload in some areas, to get the second ball and play from there. So try to be flexible and adaptable to the opposition weaknesses, and use your strength. Outside the pitch, same as many teams, respect is the number one value. respect yourself, your teammates, and the club. Of course, when you say the club, the staffing included. Um, um, commit to your objective, commit to your the team's objective, commit to the club's strategy and obviously objectives. Work hard toward that objectives, and then winning mentality. Because I feel in the academy maybe more of like development, but winning mentality, it's very important for me. Winning is not just winning 3 points. Winning is coming every day to reach the productivity level. So you can't go back home and you think, no, I didn't benefit from today. I just been there because I need to go there. I think winning is take you out of the comfort zone and always try the benefit of everything you do, including training sessions. So when you go training sessions, when we say today is a pressing day, we're gonna work on pressing or whatever, we have to produce and bring the most of it, and then go back home, almost satisfied with your performance. And again, the most important for me is be productive, reach is past the level of being performing, but also being productive. That on a daily basis that will give you the result.